Portsmouth, for me, are one of them teams that just scream Premier League. Whether it's Harry Redknapp in charge, a wonderful player like Nico Kranjčar, or a striker partnership of Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe, Portsmouth, for me, are a Premier League football side. So today, not only are we looking to return to the Premier League after they have just gained promotion from League One, winning the title ahead of Derby, Bolton and Peterborough, we are looking to make them Premier League winners. So grab yourself some popcorn because this is going to be a journey of a lifetime. And as you can see, we have simulated to the end of the 23-24 season and Pompey are champions. 97 points, an unbelievable season, and I believe they had a very good season in real life, obviously lifting the trophy and back in the championship for what feels like the first time in quite a while. Obviously a massive meteoric fall from this early late noughties really, for going down to the championship, down into League 2 for a few seasons, and then 5 or 6 seasons in League 1, finally back up to the championship. And I'm hoping by the end of this rebuild it's going to be a nice little, you know, what we're looking at here, a nice little Coronation Street vibes of the Thames, and we're going to end at the top, and it's going to be winning the Premier League trophy. Now, if we look at this Portsmouth side, I've sort of looked through the team and given a few positions that I want to keep hold of. We've got Matt Macey in goal, looks like a fantastic keeper. Zach Swanson, Regan Paul, Connor Ogilvie, McIntyre, Moxon, Tom Lowry, and Callum Lang. We've got players here like Paddy Lane again, who looks absolutely fantastic, very well rounded, could probably be a high-level championship player for us, so that's good to see. We've got someone like that here already. Marlon Pack is just a bit of a legend, to be honest. He's been around the game forever. 3.5-star player, 33 years of age. We're going to be giving him a brand new contract. Sparks is a backup left back, and a very good striker as well in Colby Bishop, who could be our starting striker next season, potentially going to be a backup. The good thing here is the board have given us quite a bit of money, £8.5 million and £76,000 in wage budget. So in terms of finances, things at Pompey are looking quite good. In terms of debt, absolutely none. So as long as we do this right, we should be able to get into the Premier League within 2 to 3 seasons, and then lifting that trophy, well, you know, we could do a Leicester and do it in season 2, or it could be 3 or 4 seasons in. So let's get into what we do transfers-wise for season 1. So first of all, in terms of the players being released, we've got Haji Minoga and Toby Stewart. And outgoings-wise, Brian Qualm's gone out on loan to Crewe. Ben Stevenson has left to Bolton for 150k. Gavin White to Rotherham for 375. Harvey Laidlaw on loan at Newport. Kasingi Yengi has been sold to Adelaide. And Will Norris has been sold to Mansfield. And that raised us £675,000. That enabled us to bring in signing number 1 in Thilo Asgard from Wigan, who I believe is actually a very good young left winger. He's Norwegian, he's 22 years of age. He's not got the greatest consistency, but he can dribble, he's got flair, and he's, you know, decently quick as well. He's good on both feet, cuts him from the wings, and I think he could be a very good little tricky winger. We also signed Alfie Whiteman from Spurs for £120,000 to be our backup goalkeeper. And the only other signing for some money was Dijon Bernard, signed from Sheffield Wednesday. Now, as a Manchester United fan, I'm a big old fan of Dijon Bernard. He was on loan at Pompey in the 22-23 season. I think he's a fantastic centre-back with outrageous speed and great ball-playing ability as well. So he comes in here to be a permanent signing for £2.5 million. There is also a few freebies. Number 1 is a new backup left-back in Brian Akono Belongo, signed as I believe he was released from Middlesbrough after having low seasons at Woking and Ebbsfleet. To be honest, just a decent backup. He can cross, good determination and decent enough speed as well. And as a backup left back, that's all we needed to do. Tyrese John Jules, I think, is a fantastic free agent signing. Last season over at Derby on loan from Arsenal. Didn't renew his contract over there. Good speed, both-footed, finishing, dribbling, first touch. And him and Colby are going to make a great strike sort of rotational partnership. And finally, it's Richard Olise, released from Chelsea. 5-star potential right back with good speed again. Not great going forward, but it's only 19 years of age and really comes in as a backup. Now, when we've got a right back as good as Zach Swanson, we don't need anyone fantastic, purely going in for youth. And we look for our team, actually, I think we're actually very strong. Matt Macey, Swanson, Paul, Bernard, Ogilvie, very good defence in there, with McIntyre, Moxon, Tom Lowry, Callum Lang, Asgard, and Tyrese John Jules. Now, obviously, as backups-wise, we've got Bishop, who could go up front. We've got Scully. We've got Paddy Lane, who's going to get a lot of minutes. Joe Morrell, Terry Devlin, who I believe is a very good young wonder kid here at Pompey, 20 years of age from Northern Ireland. Some very decent stats and well-rounded indeed. Marlon Pack, Jack Sparks, Conor Belongo, Towler, and Richard Olise, and Alfie Whiteman. A decent enough squad, obviously, this year in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and in the Championship. But we are predicted to come plumb last, 300 to 1, and as we all know, that's not going to happen. I don't think I've ever come last in the season in my life on Football Manager. And before we got there, would be sacked anyway. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and this video is 6 or 7 minutes long. Hopefully we survive. Next season, we're going to look to sort of try and get into that top half, and the season after, automatic or playoffs. That's going to be the goal. Let's get into season 1. Well, obviously, in the Carabao Cup, we lost to Burnley. Sadly, it was 4-3. Actually, a very good game, but we went out in that one. And the FA Cup is something that I certainly want to win over the course of this rebuild. Obviously, winning it in 2008 and coming in semi-finalists in 2010. Pompey have a very rich history here in the FA Cup. It's not going to be this season, I'll be honest. We actually got to the 5th round, just time before the quarterfinals, and lost to Norwich 4-3 in extra time. So a game which we probably could have won, but a very decent showing for ourselves in the FA Cup. And as mentioned, it's one I certainly want to be trying to win at some point in this rebuild, as well as the Premier League. Now, first things first, Championship season, predicted last, 8th position, 70 points, and a 15 goal difference. Now, we were quite a way off that playoff places, 8 points away from Leeds, a whole point away from the top 2, but a fantastic season, a positive goal difference, and I'm genuinely shocked at how good we have transitioned into the Championship. Now, if we look through the schedule, things started off very well, as they often do when you are a newly promoted side. Your team has this wonderful boost of morale, and you seem to be able to beat anyone and everyone. So West Brom, Ipswich in the Cup, Hull, Stoke, all just getting battered all over the place, and then you sort of get into November, December, and your team realise they're not quite Championship quality. The good thing here, we managed to turn it around, have a decent run of form, and end of the season actually very strong. In terms of the players which, absolutely dominated the season, Colby Bishop was 10 starts, 20 through the bench, 16 goals. The man's an absolute bagsman. 14 finishing, 12 composure. A true striker. Very good for him. And Tyrese John-Jules, who was our starting striker, 15 goals and 41 starts. Very good. Paddy Lane, who you mentioned could be a good player. Yeah, he is a very good player. 14 goals and 15 assists. 47 games played. Another Northern Irish player. Value of £9 million. Absolutely fantastic. Great to see him doing bits. And Josh Martin, who we never even mentioned, come in and played 42 games, scored 12 and got 13 assists. Fantastic. Marlon Pack as a 34-year-old, 8 goals and 12 assists as well as 46 games. Superb. Scully was 7 and 4, 6 and 8 from Tom Lowry, and 5 assists as well for Connor Ogilvie, and 5 assists for Zach Swanson, who I have mentioned I'm very excited for to be a very good right back throughout this rebuild after joining from Arsenal. But I think this season we've proved we're going to be good enough to stay up in the Championship, and we can move to that playoffs maybe even next season. In terms of transfers, obviously we only spent £3.5 million last season. They gave us like 10 overall. We've got £4 million to spend, 50k in wage budget, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and make some more signings. So this season, we decided to sell Todd McIntyre after having a sort of a big backup role last season. And also ended up releasing Jack Sparks, Harry Jewett-White, Brian Quam, and Sam Folane, as they've not quite made it at the Championship level. So only £5 million to spend. Who's coming in? Signing number 1 is Chance Simkala, signed from Kiel over in Germany. I've never seen this guy, and at this level, he looks absolutely fantastic. He is 28 years of age, so not exactly a wonder kid, but he's consistent. He likes big matches, good speed, 14 acceleration, and 14 pace at this level. 13 dribbling, 12 finishing, 16 flair, 16 aggression, and he can take penalties with 16 penalty taking. Signed for just £900,000. I think that's a great piece of business. As is signing this guy, Victor Abrego, signed from Raja Casablanca over in Morocco, where he has been absolutely smashing it. 9 goals and 7 assists in 25 games over there. He's joined us for £500,000. He's on an ESC slot as he's a Bolivian international and didn't get his work permit. But I think he's fantastic. Great natural fitness and determination, so he'll be able to run forever. Good finishing, dribbling, and first touch as well. And as a striker or left winger or cam, this guy is great. He is consistent. He hates big matches, so if we get to the playoffs, don't play Victor, and he's a little bit injury prone as well, but for £500,000, an absolute bargain. And I've also decided to bring in a brand new goalkeeper to replace Matt Macy. It's Nicholas Bilakovic from Peterborough. Bilakovic, I feel like I've completely butchered his name. He's an Australian international, 16 determination, so he's going to grow as well as being consistent, and very good stats all the way around. He actually looks very, very good. If we compare him to Matt Macy, who, remember, is now 30 years of age, he's got better distribution, so playing up from the back is going to be great. Only 1 away on these shot stopping, 2 away on the aerial, which he will grow into, and communication is the same as well. So a big fan of Nicholas. £2 million I think that's an absolute bargain for a 6'5" wonder-kid goalkeeper. And then back into the free agent signings. Number 1 is Alan Campbell, released from Luton. A little bit of Premier League experience, but in the Championship, he is an absolute demon. Great determination, bravery, and aggression. Exactly what we need in the midfield to replace Marlon Pack. Now he's like 35. Dylan Williams comes in, released from Chelsea. Again, great determination, good speed in him, can cross a ball, and is a good backup left back. And finally, an absolute superstar signing in Antonio Vergara, released from Napoli. This guy's very well rounded in pretty much every single stat and has great physical stats as well as dribbling and first touch. He is consistent, and as you bring him into this team, he sits in that playmaker role next to Lowry in that midfield. Looking at Belakovic in goal, Swanson, Paul, Bernard, Williams, Campbell, Vergara, Lowry, Paddy Lane, Abrego, and Tyrese John-Jules. I think the squad has taken a big step up this summer. We've got a lot more sort of firepower with Abrego, Kobe Bishop, Simakala, Scully, Marlon Pack, Devlin, Moxon, Ogilvie, Belongo, Towler, Elise, and Whiteman. A very strong midfield with an absolute playmaking genius in there with Vergara. A DM who I think could be our DM for years to come, Alan Campbell. And again, a very young backline as well. This season, obviously, we're still being predicted where we finished last season. It's down in 19th, but only 50-1 compared to 300-1 last year. So you never know, promotion could be on. And we've got highlights, which can only mean one thing. We are into the playoff semi-finals, and Simakala finds Tyrese John-Jules to make it 1-0 in 37 minutes. We are facing up against Middlesbrough, who come in 3rd, which means we came down in 6th. So we are not favourites in this game, but Tyrese John-Jules makes us favourites, as in 42 minutes, we make it 2-0. Just a minute later, though, before the half-time whistle, Middlesbrough do make it 2-1. This is at Fratton Park, so we have to go out there and try and keep a win. Swanson on the left-hand side finds Dylan Williams for a great run, and Lang is there to make it 3-1. And away from home, Simakala made it 1-0 from the spot in the 89th minute, so it was 4-1 on aggregate, and we were into the playoff finals, where we faced up against Fulham in Wembley, and the playoff final was 63rd minute goal from Tyrese John-Jules was enough to make Portsmouth playoff final winners. And you can see from the stats with the team on top, better XG, better in shots, a tiny bit less in possession, but a fantastic performance here against Fulham. And we have made a 4-3-3 system which absolutely cooks from absolutely nothing. Buzzing with that, because that Fulham team, you know, consists of James Trafford in goal, Nicholas Romero is a great young centre-back, Brian Gill, Carlos Vinicius, bench-wise, Hamza Chowdhury, Jack Clark, and Kenny Tete coming on. But the mighty Pompey have held strong, and we have got promoted to the Premier League. Now, I don't used to think we've got lucky there, because we're only 3 points away from Fulham in the league with a better goal difference, and 7 away from Middlesbrough. 81 points this season, with John-Jules 28 goals and the top goal scorer. An absolutely fantastic season from the mighty Pompey, and a brilliant season in terms of goal scoring from him. But overall, the whole team just absolutely cooked this year. Our signings have been fantastic. John-Jules, 31 goals and 4 assists. Chance Simakala is a 28-year-old coming in, 17 goals and 12 assists, signed for just £900,000. Antonio Vergara playing in that playmaker role, signed on a free from Napoli, 10 goals and 13 assists. Victor Abrego, signed from a Moroccan team, Casablanca, I believe it was, 9 goals and 9 assists. Paddy Lane, 8 and 13. Deschamps Bernard, an absolute rock at the back with Regan Paul, both of them being absolutely fantastic with some great value on them as well. Zach Swanson, 3 assists. Marlon Pack still playing them games, but sadly is retiring, so it is the end of Marlon Pack here at Portsmouth. Dylan Williams, 6 assists in 37 starts. Didn't look like he'd be able to do it at the start of the season. He was brilliant, as was Nicholas Belakovic, who has grown very well, now 23 years of age, a £9 million value, signed for just £2 million. A fantastic signing. The only thing is, of course, the board have given us £38 million, so this team could get ripped apart and we could improve it massively. A whole host of money in the wage budget as well. Let's make Pompey a Premier League side. And obviously, as well, for anyone over on Patreon, make sure you are signing up using a link down below. You get access to this rebuild file at the end of the rebuild and somewhere in the middle as well. Let me know if you want anything else in there. I keep all the saves for about a month, so you guys can pick them up over on Patreon, £5 a month, and you've got no idea how much it helps support me to create, as we're looking to attempt to go full-time, hopefully pretty soon. Things like Patreon, where you help support me, do an absolute world of good. Like the legends on the screen that have been running down, they help me out so much. £5 a month is all it takes, and you can literally make my dreams come true, potentially making content creation full time. So a massive thank you, link down below, head over to there, and thank you so much for your support. Well, signing number one is a big one. It's Fabio Carvalho, signed from Liverpool. His career has never really got going since that unbelievable start to life in Fulham. Obviously moved to Liverpool, and since then it's sort of got a little bit topsy-turvy. Looks like in real life he might have recovered it over at Hull, but here on FM, it's not quite gone to plan, so he's coming to Pompey to play off the left-hand side. And Mark Stranjar is, I believe, what we call an absolute bargain. £1 million, signed from Maribor. A Slovenian 10-capped international, was consistent with 12 crossing, great speed, and also decent defensively as well. Yeah, we take them. And what a rotational striker coming in is Noel Lopez, signed from Tenerife after they signed him from Real Madrid last season, second tier, 12 goals, 2 assists. This season, he comes to be a backup striker to Tyrese John Jones for £2.2 million. Great finishing and composure, 13 and 15, and decent speed. Great decision making and balance, and extremely consistent. I'm hoping Noel can be that rotation option we need. We have still got £20 million to spend, so number one coming in is Xavier Simmons, signed from Hull, a wonder kid DM, English, 4.5 star potential, 2.5 star credibility, consistent, doesn't really love big matches, but great natural fitness, great teamwork, and is a solid midfielder. And maybe a brand new goalkeeper to replace Nicholas Bilakapac is Adam Stejkal. I don't make it easy myself, do I? But this guy's got a 4.5 star current ability. Rather than potential, we've brought in someone who can do it now. 5 caps for the Czech international team. Great jump and reach and positioning with great strength and aerial reach as well. A consistent international for the Czech Republic. A great signing for just £4 million. Bino Silan is the next man to come in. Another Slovenian actually coming into the club as well. Another guy with 5 caps as well. This one's £4.1 million from Inter Milan to come in and be a rotational with the Vergara, the guy we signed from Napoli. This guy's only 21 years of age, but is consistent, very fit, great vision, and also a very well-rounded player. Raul Walters is one of them players that if you've ever done a lower league save, you know and love. This guy is great going forward, great speed, and decent defensively. Costs just £2 million, signed him from Arsenal. Already a value of £15 million. And the final signing for actual money is Jamal Baptiste. Now this one is quite cool. He is released from Manchester City on this save, got down to Swindon in the National League, and I found him and he looked quite cool. 300,000 purely to be our 4th choice centre back. I don't think he's pretty much ever going to play, but great tackling, heading and marking, great composure and decent speed, 6 foot tall. Not a bad little signing for 300k. And the reason he's 4th choice centre back is because Amin Al-Dakili has come in from Burnley to be a 3rd choice, and he's a hell of a lot better. Burnley released him. I don't know why. He's consistent. He likes big matches. Very around in terms of physical attributes, and defensively is great. Can also play out from the back as well. So very happy to get this signing over the line. In terms of outgoings, there was a few, but nothing major. Josh Martin left, Harvey Laidlaw, Theo Alsgaard's left, Christian Sadie. £1.2 million was raised. We have still got a little bit of money here and there to spend, but I don't think I'm going to be spending it. Just £4 million isn't a lot in terms of Premier League players. And our team, I think, is looking good. I think it's not really Premier League level. I think this could be a rough season. A bit like Ipswich in real life at the moment. Getting that back-to-back promotions. Obviously, we had a year gap in the middle, but our team maybe is still a little bit behind. It's Stejkal in goal, Zach Swanson and Stanjar on the wings, of Dishon Bernard and Regan Paul at centre-back, Xavier Simmons, Bino Silan and Vergara in midfield, of Paddy Lane, Fabio Carvalho and Noel Lopez leading the line. Most likely, John Jules is going to go there. We've also got Abrego, Sim Carla, Tom Lowry, Alan Campbell, Moxon, Dylan Williams, Jamal Baptiste, Amin Al-Dakili, Raul Walters and Bilakapac. I actually think the good thing we've got here is that our backups, I think, could give our first team quite a good game. We'd probably lose by like 2-1, but it'll be a very tight game. I think we've got a very solid squad rather than just a good first 11, which is good because games in the Premier League come thick and fast, and obviously they're always difficult. We are 1,000 to 1 to win the league. 5 times less than Leicester were when they won it. Now, we know the bookies have changed their view on things. I don't think we're going to win the league. I think it's going to be a real struggle to stay up. We're even half as good as Sunderland, apparently. So it is going to be a very, very tough old season. Let's see if we can stay up. Will it all come down to the final day of the season? And we needed Leicester to lose to Manchester United, which they did. Even though Harry Maguire back at Leicester scored a penalty, we had to beat Everton at home. And that looked very unlikely as 2 minutes in, Leon Bailey got them off to a very good start. But Ceylan whipped the ball in and it falls to Xavier Simmons to make it 1-0 on the 43rd minute for Paddy Lane. Whips the ball in, it comes back to him, he brings it down. shoots against the crossbar, and the man signed from Casablanca, Abrego, makes it 2-1, and in the 75th minute, Fabio Carvalho shows the quality, a Rabana, and Lane is there to make it 3-1. Imagine, right, the audacity. If you don't win, you get relegated, and Fabio Carvalho whips out a Rabana cross, and we score. A 3-1 victory. I'm not proud of this season in the slightest. 34 points, same as Leicester. Minus 30 on goal difference. We've done it by 2 goal difference as well. So, I mean, we could have easily not stayed up. But luckily, due to our goal difference, we have. We were miles clear of Burnley, miles clear of Sunderland. But that was a rough old season. Everton were actually in 16th and were at no risk of being relegated. But a very tough day for them, a tough season for them as well. But I tell you what, the biggest thing there, we have survived and we are Premier League again. I don't know how we've done it. I think it's just similar to what Leicester done in real life. So, you know, never know. Season 4, we could win the Premier League trophy. That's not happening, is it? Let's just be honest. But in terms of where we predicted 1,000 to 1, I'm baffled at how we have survived this by a single, well, 2 in the goal difference chart, which is fantastic. In terms of our data hub, it's not a good look, is it? 0.92 goals scored per game, conceding 1.71. We were getting battered pillar to post. And when you look through the schedule, it was a very weird run into the end of the season. Draws to Newcastle, West Ham, Burnley, Wolves, lost to Palace, drew to Brighton, drew to Manchester City at Fratton Park. A goal from Fabio Carvalho. We got battered by Liverpool. We beat Manchester United, but then we'd go on awful runs of form. Like, what on earth is that? That is a disgusting run of form, including losing 6-0 to Manchester City. So we were lucky that they were feet up towards the end of the season and could draw against us, which is great. But overall, we somehow survived. It's absolutely fantastic. Goals-wise, yeah, there's not a lot. It was all Tyrese John Jules. Paddy Lane from League One to Premier League, 6 goals, 6 assists. Mark Stranier, the £1 million left back, got 5 and 5. Fabio Carvalho, 5 and 7. 3 and 1 for Victor Abrego. Antonio Vergara, still decent, 3 and 4. Our best player overall in the whole season, though, was Adam Stejkal, the brand new goalkeeper signed, 33 appearances and a 6.92 in the Premier League. I remember, cost us just £4.1 million, now a value of 12, but a fantastic signing. And we allocated that ESC slot. Absolutely right to do so. A brilliant goalkeeper brought in. The boards have been nice to us. They've given us £46 million. One thing I do want to say as well, the club just do not produce wonder kids at all. Half a star youth recruitment, and it's so bad, there's only an under-18s team. There's no under-21s. So we're not going to get many wonder kids come through, and when they do, it's going to be so sparse. So you might not see any come through, to be honest. We've got Danny Young and Lucas Churchill here, and I think in the squad there's a couple. Mikey Sharp looks great, and so does Nigel Whelan and Max Page, but whether they become anything, I don't know. We are in a fight and survival mode rather than grow wonder kids, so we might not see them progress into anything. Hopefully one day they do. Let's get into season 4. And what was clear after last season is what we really need to shore up the defence. So Santiago Mourinho comes in a £10.5 million signing. He starts off in the career world at Atletico Madrid, signed for £2.3 million. He then moved to Real Palace, then to Forest, then to Sunderland, and then to us. He's doing a trip around England, but Santiago has found his home. And from there, we only spent another £6 million, £5 million of that on Hamza Chowdhury to be a very good rotational DM. £1 million on a bargain winger, a Zambian international, Edward Chilafuya. This guy looks fantastic from FC Midtjylland. Great flair, amazing speed, 5'7", great dribbling, crossing, finishing, and first touch. Consistent. £1 million is an absolute bargain. And finally, a free signing of the ages. It's Gabriel Sara, released from Norwich. This guy could be the difference. He's extremely consistent, loves big matches, he's got one stat less than 11, and that's marking at A. Well, for me, he's going to be a going forward centre mid or a central attacking midfielder, and he's exactly what I need. I have his positioning there at 9 as well, so going forward, he's great defensively, not great. This guy is the absolute key. A free signing with a value of £51 million. Norwich, what are you thinking? I've got no idea, but I'll take him in for sure. Stejkal in goal, Zach Swanson and Stajnar as our wingers, wing backs, with Bernardo Mourinho as centre back, Javier Simmons, Bernard Salan, Gabriel Sara, Chifulia and Fabio Carvalho with Tyrese John Jules. Still using though a lot of the players here from the start: Belakovic, Raul Walters, Dakali, Regan, Paul, Dylan Williams, Hamza Chowdhury, Alan Campbell, Vergara, Abrego, Paddy Lane is still here, as is Noel Lopez. And Paddy Lane is a wanted man. A £25 million value. I'd certainly be cashing in. We've had a few offers. He just won't end up accepting any contract because he loves Portsmouth, apparently. He signed there in 2022 from Fleetwood. He has been lights out good in this save. So if you're doing a Pompey career, make sure to use Paddy Lane. How are we going to do in Season 4? Hopefully not staying up on goal difference. Hopefully much further up than that. And well, actually, apologies, because the save file that I had for the start of that season was actually wrong. I also signed Datro Fofana, which was a great signing from Chelsea. He ended up scoring 12 goals this season. Apologies, the save file. I do it where I save it at start of season 4, end of season 4, start of season 5. I saved it wrong. Apologies. But we signed Datro Fofana for 8.75 million, 11 goals in 30 games, a bagsman striker. And we also signed Ethan Laird from Bristol City. He cost us £20 million, but a fantastic attacking right back this season. 32 games and 4 assists. And both of them signings, apologies again, led us up into 12th place in the Premier League, 45 points. Still a negative 18 goal difference, 17 losses, 9 draws and 12 wins, but a much better season than last. A whole 11 points better off, a much better goal difference. And when we look at the data hub, it's a lot better. We're scoring more goals, we're conceding about the same, to be honest, which isn't great. But tactically, I think we're getting there. We've moved into a 4-2-3-1 system with sort of an attacking 2 here. Only 2 players on attack because I'm aware we do not want to get absolutely destroyed. Chowdhury and Gabriel Sara in DM. Carvalho, Lane, Chafoya and Datro Fofana. Stranyar, Laird, Bernard, Regan Paul and Stejka were all in the team there. Apologies again that this is a bit of a mess up with this season. Goals-wise, Datro Fofana absolutely carried, scoring 12. Sara, 8 and 4, the free signing of dreams. With Stanyar, 5 and 4. Paddy Lane still plugging away. 5 goals, 6 assists, 30 games. He just loves it. He's fantastic. Javier Simmons, great as well. Jalufia for £1 million, now value of 34. 5 goals, 6 assists in 33 games, a bargain signing. Abrego, he's leaving now, but 4 goals. This signing, I absolutely loved. I love scouting over in random leagues like in Morocco. Again, signed for 500k. He's been a very good player for us. An absolute bargain. Great determination, great natural fitness. I implore you guys, go and look at random leagues. Set your scouts out to go over and be in Africa and Asia and Oceania. They'll find you some great players. And this guy has turned into our vice captain, and he cost us £500,000 and led us to Premier League football in 102 games. 14 goals, a very good winger for us. Absolutely a massive fan of Victor Abrego. But yeah, season 4 is a little bit of a weird one. In terms of the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, I've not touched on it in the last couple of years. This time, second rounds by Oxford in the Carabao Cup and 4th round by Manchester City in the FA Cup. So getting them back is going to be very, very difficult. But I suppose after I mess this up, let's get into season 5. Right, there were some big outgoings this season with Roy Walters leaving for £8 million, Noel Lopez for 5, and Mikey Sharp, the wonder kid youngster we had, sold for £2 million to West Ham. As mentioned, I really can't afford to be developing wonder kids at the moment. We've also let Alan Campbell go to Motherwell on a free contract as well. Signings wise, number 1, Vincente Pizarro comes in from Colo Colo. This guy's cost us £2.5 million. Why is he so cheap? He's so consistent. A little sort of 5'8", ratty little defensive midfielder and a Herrera vibes. A massive fan of this signing. Matthias Fortjolovic also comes in, a very determined young left-back Norwegian, now an international there. 14 crossing, 16 determination and decent speed. Very strong on both feet and is consistent. A bargain of just £3.1 million. And then we bring in 2 Spanish capped players that are both absolutely fantastic. Number 1 is Fran Beltran, coming in to really shore up that defensive midfield position. 29 years of age, so brings some experience as well. He has cost us £21.5 million, but 4 seasons in a row, missing just 1 game over in the top tier of Spain. It's exactly what we need. He's consistent, he loves big matches, and he's absolutely brilliant. And finally, it's Brian Zaragoza, signed for Bayern Munich this season from Granada. Last FM, one of my favourite signings to make. I started on so many Wonder Kid rebuilds because he was incredible. This season, I've hardly touched him since that move to Bayern Munich, but 16 dribbling, 16 flair, outrageous speed. Hopefully, Big Brian can be the key in this Pompey attack. And it means the team is looking like so. We have moved our free agent signing Gabriel Sara up to Cam, Chilufya on right, Zaragoza on the left, Datro Fofana up front, Beltran and Pizarro in DM with Lovic, Laird, Bernard and Paul both here, by the way, from the Championship to now, with Stejkal in goal. Backups wise, Pilokapach, Swanson, Dackley, Marino, Stajnar, Simmons, Chowdhury, Paddy Lane, Selan Carvalho, and Tyrese John Jules. We are progressing as a club this season. I think one of these is the goal. Maybe the Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup. I don't care which one. I just like some silverware. Season preview, we're back down to still being the worst team in the Premier League. Simply look at this team. I can't back it. Whoever's making that, completely drunk, because this team is actually very rounded and very good, and again, a very good squad. So let's upset the odds yet again. Well, I bring you back with some highlights, which can only mean good things, right? What was the Carabao Cup, and it's the semi-finals, so it's a two-legged affair, and Nicholas Jackson scores, which knows we're in a alternate universe, so we're 1-0 down to Chelsea, but that high press pays off, and Datro Fofana gets a goal against his own club on the stroke of half-time past Mamardashvili. Dijon Bernard then finds a ball into Fabio Carvalho, a great ball at the top, and the backup striker, John Jules, makes it 2-1. And we take things back to Fratton Park, where if we can save ourselves, we will be going into the finals of the Carabao Cup. Well, Florian Wirtz has got something else on his mind. He makes it 1-0, and Chelsea are going to make it 2-0. At this point, we are going out. We are going home. So it's time to get a equaliser. Paddy Lane on the ball, finds Ethan Laird on the right-hand side. He whips it in, and Datro's there. It looks like it's going to extra time. 91st minute, a ball into the back stick, it falls to Swanson, it falls to Beltran, and Zach Swanson, the man coming up from League One, scores in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup and makes Pompey a Carabao Cup finalist. But sadly, in front of a packed out Wembley of 90,000 people, a 1-0, a Rodri header, and Manchester City just have to break our hearts and win the Carabao Cup. And winning the FA Cup, again, we got straight to the 5th round, placing up against Liverpool. We lost 3-0, so sadly no cup competitions this year, but a fantastic season. Final of a cup. I didn't think we'd be saying that just yet. I was aiming for it. I didn't think it would happen. You shoot for the stars, you might just land on the moon, and I suppose the Carabao Cup in this instance is that moon, isn't it? And we've slipped off it and gone into orbit. So it is what it is. In terms of the Premier League this season, we've had an absolutely fantastic season, coming in 9th on 58 points. Goal difference is -2, and that's what stopped us getting Europe next season. The Europa Conference League would have been great, because I think we could definitely do something in that. Aston Villa, 96-point champions. Newcastle 2nd, Spurs in 3rd. I like this with FM this year. There's a bit more randomness in who wins the league. Hopefully it can be Pompey soon, but sadly not just yet. 58 points is a fantastic tally, and we have shown sort of a real good graph in terms of growing Portsmouth from that League One club. As I mentioned, I want to see the Thames. We're seeing it. We're seeing the Thames. We don't want to see the other downside. We want to leave it at the top. But so far, we are doing wonders, and it's going to go up again into the 8th position. I think we've had a great season. We've had a great rise so far, and I think we are doing very, very well. It's just a chance of, making that next step. And the board have given us £70 million to do that, and 60k in wage budget. With finances-wise, obviously, we're absolutely minted. When you become a Premier League club, you can see it here, the turn on 2006. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So let's get into season 6. Well, the goalkeeper we all know and love, Adam Stejkal, has left the club, and he has gone to Newcastle for £12 million. But that's a great bit of business. He sort of got us up to that next stage, but we are looking for a keeper to take us to that next level. So 12 million is an absolute steal for us. Hamza Chowdhury has also left at 31 years of age after 2 very good seasons, leaves us to Middlesbrough, and we made a profit as well. Signed for 5 million, sold for 6. Thank you, Hamza. And it's with, regret and sad hearts we do move away from Zach Swanson. We've sold him for Heidenheim for £675,000, which I think shows the level that he is at. He's only a 2-star player, and it was time to move on. So first of all, that brand new goalkeeper, Elan Meslier, signed from Leeds for just £21 million. He's now 29 years of age. He's extremely consistent. He loves big matches, and I was comparing him and James Trafford. They were both £21 million. Meslier come out on top. 18 one-on-ones, 18 area reach. Give me a bit of that. We've got a superstar keeper. And Valentin Barco is our next signing. The wonder kid that Brighton have signed in real life. The ginger Argentinian who's now made 13 caps for Argentina. Well, he's only made 24 for Brighton in 5 years. So let's come to Pompey and let's make him a superstar. Very consistent, loves big matches. He's I mean, you all know this guy. He's a wonder kid. Everyone knows him. He's simply fantastic. And our first big region signing also coming in. It's a young English CDM poached from Derby with great anticipation, bravery and determination. Decent speed in him as well. He's 5'8", so a little nimble guy, but a very good signing for £14 million as a rotational option. With a brand new DM to partner up Fran Beltran, being Mohamed Ali Ben Ramadan, signed from, well, actually was a free agent released from Ferencvaros, a Tunisian international, 96 caps over there. And again, very similar in the consistency. Every stat other than 2 above 10. Loves big matches, extremely consistent, a great DM for free. And the final signing is Syrian international Mohamed Al Aswad. This guy is looking fantastic. He starts off his career over at Al Kharma in Syria. Middlesbrough signed him for £3.1 million. He progressively got better and better and better in the Championship before we signed him for £24 million. Incredible determination, great speed, dribbling and finishing as well. Consistent, 26 years of age, so can still progress, and a great signing here at the club. And that is it in terms of our business. So Meslier in goal, Ethan Laird, Deschamps Bernard and Regan Paul still here. Barco at left back, Ben Ramadane with Fran Beltran, Al Aswad, Gabriel Sara, Zaragoza and Fofana leading the line. Let's go Pompey. Season 6. It's time to lift the trophy. Well, it's not going to be the Carabao Cup. We have lost to Spurs 3-1 in the 4th round. But we are here at Wembley in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and we're up against Southampton. And Emil Smith-Rowe gets them 1-0 up in 24 minutes. Valentin Barco drives down that left-hand side with absolute speed and passion. It falls to Mohamed Al Aswad at the back post, and he makes it 1-1 in 29 minutes. So we make it 2-1 thanks to a header from Moreno at the back stick. And that was it. We'd won the semi-finals. And the final wasn't against City, United, Arsenal, Spurs. It was Brighton. And exactly like the semi-final against Southampton, here at Wembley, we're going to go a goal down. Could we, though, repeat history and get 2 back? Well, João Pedro with an absolute screamer there, plus an injured Elan Meslier, which was a bit unfair, is there. Gabriel Sara, remember that free agent signing from Norwich? He's quite good still. A goal there in the 60th minute. And in the 70th, that £1 million signing, Chilufya finds Regan Paul. It falls to Brian Zaragoza, signed from Bayern Munich. He lifts a trophy with Pompey. The FA Cup is back after the first time since 2008. 22 years on in 2030. Pompey lift another major trophy. That's quite sad, really, isn't it? 22 years, but after what's happened and where we are now, that's actually not awful. And I think we've got Pompey back to the very top, lifting trophies yet again. And well, I'm very glad we ended up lifting that trophy, because this season in the Premier League, we fell off a little bit. Actually, in terms of points, we got 1 point less and improved our goal difference to 11. So you know what? The Premier League got better, and there wasn't a runaway winner. This time it was Spurs on 77, which actually explains a hell of a lot. We're only 7 points off Europe again. Only 4 points off 8th place and 4 points off where we finished last season. 1 point away from our point tally last season with a positive goal difference. Actually done very well this season, but we have got Europa League football because of the FA Cup win, which means we're in Europe for season number 7. 17 wins, 6 draws, 15 losses, 11 goal difference. The board, they love money. £60 million and 75k in wage budget. But this season, I feel like we made a big step. And I mean, it's all thanks to this guy, Gabriel Sara, a free agent signing from Norwich, 30 years of age, 19 goals and 8 assists. Unbelievable the fact we picked him up on a free. Dacha Fofana signed from Chelsea for 9 million, 18 goals and 2 assists. An unbelievable player. I've used him a few times in this FM, and I say it all the time. Last FM, everyone loved Dacha Fofana. This year, no one looks at him. He's still absolutely brilliant. Give him a chance. Brian Zaragoza, 11 and 13. Mohamed El Aswad, 8 and 13 as well. Tarish Dunjul still here at 29 with 5 goals and assists. Mark, the £1 million signing at left back, 4 and 4. And Edward Chilufya, the £1 million signing, 4 and 1. And a whole host of games in the Premier League. A great signing, the Zambian international, still worth £18 million. And Paddy Lane as well at 29. Is still here. He is now transfer listed, and we're trying to get £24 million for him, but he's doing bits. And I'm so happy with how I've progressed this club. I really, really am. Season 7, I think we can make big strides if we get in the right players. And well, we're at that point in the video that I like to call silly season. Rosevaldo, a 6'6" Brazilian striker signed from Corinthians with 17 finishing, 17 composure, 17 flair, and 13 pace and acceleration. Yeah, silly season is here. He's consistent. We might have the next best striker on all time. He scored 24 goals just a couple of seasons back. £13 million was release clause. If we don't win the league, I'll be baffled, I can't lie. And that was only signing number 1, because for £1.5 million, we go back to South America, as I'm now going to do. We have a wonder kid who's fairly determined. He looks incredible. £1.5 million signed from Defensor Sporting in Uruguay. 16 leadership, vision, technique, dribbling, 17 balance. A great little tricky DM. Emil Sur is up next. A Danish central defensive midfielder signed from Midtjylland with great determination, technique and speed. Roberto Ertex Maria comes in, a Spanish international from Atletico Pamplona. Yes, I'm going to be honest. I have gone straight wonder kid shopping. I have gone straight to the regions list, and I've decided this is the year we're absolutely going for it. And if not, season 8 will be the year, because we've got so many wonder kids coming in. We're going to progress into one of the world's best teams pretty quickly. And it's quite easy to do with Foot Manager, to find these wonder kids that are going to absolutely break the game. So Roberto is in. Gianni Dragne is in as well. A Romanian midfielder with 20 determination, 16 composure, 17 passing, 17 technique, 16 vision and teamwork, and 17 balance. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how I'm finding the wonder kids as well in just a second. We signed him for £2.9 million. He's already worth 91 million. And then we find this guy, Jelmir Kanizaj. He looks quite good, doesn't he? He cost us, guess how much? Guess how much he cost us? £200,000 from Croatia. 7.27 last year. I don't know how he's that cheap. He's incredibly consistent. Yes, he's injury prone. I don't care. I'll play him for 15 games a season and he'll be absolutely brilliant. It doesn't end yet, because Ricardo's come in, a Brazilian, 17 dribbling, 16 first touch, great speed and agility. He's simply fantastic for 12 million. Alejandro Gomez comes in from Norwich. The best thing here, they've done the scouting for me already. They've signed him from Belize. He's got great marking, determination, bravery, anticipation, and fantastic physicals. A left-footed centre-back signed for 20 million. And finally, a non-regen, a bit of experience. Joe Scally comes in, 243 games for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he's here at Portsmouth to be our starting right back. Now, how I set up my sort of scouting focus, the ones I've set up are literally these two. Head over to South America. 1-star credibility, 2.5-star potential ability, ongoing. Give them a couple of scouts of good determination and, adaptability and knowledge of the area. And watch them just absolutely cook. And the exact same in Europe, the exact same requirements. 1-star, 2.5-star. This time 4 scouts, because I want to get more out there so they can give us more players. And if we head over to the players scouted, is where I often find all of my little players from. Obviously, you can see when I was looking for that ridiculous striker. What I'll do is head this by recommendation. I will sort this by age. At this point, we're looking at sort of 24 and under. And we can also get a transfer value on a max of like £10 million. Just look at some of these players. Jesper Hartog. He looks absolutely brilliant as a winger. Absolutely fantastic. Been found. Almir Segaldo. £1 million. Yeah, a good little goalkeeper. Let's sort this by ability so we see the best ones in here. We've signed a lot of them, to be honest. We've got Erkan Koyulu, £7 million. Can play anywhere, but in DM, absolutely fantastic. Duje Reic is 24 years of age, a centre mid with great passing ability in there. 6.6, Basile. He looks like a good right back, doesn't he? He's pretty decent. 1.8 million, Multin Stojanovic. A striker with 15 finishing, 30 composure, them sort of stats. 19 determination, 17 heading, 17 technique, both footed. And it's all done from literally just setting them scouting bits up. And you can find players like this. Guido Ladania, a right winger with 18 determination, 16 flair. Obviously, I've gone and signed the best ones possible. Hence, there's not that many on this list at the moment. And that was all under £10 million as well. So, you can pretty much filter it to where you are as a club. If you've got loads of money, filter it to 40. If you've not got a lot, filter it to 5 million. You'll find bargains like the Cam we've got as the backup. Kanizaj, and it'll be absolutely fine. Melier, Scally, Exteberia, Gomez, Barco, Surf, Beltran, Piloto, Sara, Ricardo, and Fofana up front. I think the best thing as well, what we've done, as we've gone through this rebuild, we've actually built quite an experienced squad, and now we're sprinkled with the wonder kids. So 30 years of age, 27, 22, 21, 25, 21, 31, 20, 31, 22, and 27. And the backups are all that sort of age as well. 27, 28, 32, 29, 26, 19, 30, 27, 21, 29, and 22. I mean, we've done absolute bits here in terms of building this squad. I think this could be pretty easy, to be honest, to win the league. With some of the players we've signed, we predicted 15th. You're telling me this sort of striker, Rosivaldo here, is going to get 15th in the Premier League. Yeah, that's not happening. The Europa League, you should be scared. All these cups, you should be scared. Season 7, it's Pompey time. Well, first of all, I've got to say, I'm gutted. We're not back-to-back wingers of the FA Cup. Sadly, Manchester United win it this time. Everton beat us on penalties. And just to mention, the top goal scorer in the whole competition, Zelmir Kanizaj, £200,000. Yeah, 10 goals and 6 starts. What a signing. And also a pretty cool one. Joe Grimwood has the best average rating. Up the Braintree town, just promoted as well. What a legend. 324 caps of Braintree. Just a quick little side note. Where are they? I don't know because I've not got the league loaded. Oh, they've got relegated. Livid. I'm absolutely livid. Fuming. We won't talk about that anymore. See you later, Joe Grimwood. Good luck. And the Carabao Cup, we are not going to win either. 2-1 loss to Sunderland. Liverpool are winners of that one. In the Europa League, we had a fantastic start in the league phase. 21 points, the point away from Liverpool, but the best goal difference out of anyone. Which obviously means we skipped the knockout playoff round, moved straight into the round of 16, and we battered Hamady 5-1 on aggregate. We then drew Spezia in the quarterfinals, which I think is quite nice. We beat them 4-2 on aggregate, which means the semi-finals we are straight into. But it's Atletico Madrid. Where game 1 was at the Estadio Metropolitano against Madrid, and they are quite good. A very old Conor Gallagher finds Smartvic to find Ngoy to make it 1-0 just after half-time. Luckily, we're going to make it 1-0. We've got a big man in the box, but it's not going to be him that's going to score. It's the other one. That Fofana darting at the back stick to make it 1-0. It looks like a dwarf next to Rossi Valdo. A great penalty there from Smartvic makes it 2-1. And sadly, it's going to be 3-1 to Atletico Madrid, giving it us all to do at home at Fratton Park. And we're going to start it by conceding a goal in 30 minutes to Wilfred Gnonto. But what we are going to see is how good Rossi Valdo is, because I don't think you're actually ready for what's about to happen. Right, so we're going to win a ball back here from Sir. He finds it in the box, and it falls to Al Aswad to make it 1-1. But at this point, we are a goal down still. Ricardo finds Al Aswad. He finds Gabriel Sara. Gabriel Sara finds Ronnie Valdo. He bursts through on goal and scores. Sorry, now we're 1 goal behind still because it's now 2-1. It's now the 91st minute. Rossi Valdo scores. We're level. Rossi Valdo, I don't think he understands what extra time means because he's going to get an extra time hat-trick. He's there again at the back stick, and we're now a goal ahead. And as Atletico Madrid pushed everyone forward, Rossi Valdo decided he wanted more. Dacha Fofana sweats it across, and Rossi Valdo was there. I don't get how good he is. He scored in the 42nd, 91st, 94th, and 96th minute. Sorry, Atletico Madrid. We've just got an absolute monster on our hands who love scoring goals late on. 18 shots, 8 on target. Absolutely battered there, Atletico Madrid. Through to the final, and it's Liverpool, the team that come top in our way. And we're going to see a Rossi Valdo masterclass. Again, I've got to say the goal of the three-pointers is not to win a European trophy, but we are going to. We're going to win the Europa League. And Rossi Valdo got us 1-0 up. Al Aswad then going through is going to sweat it across. And we're going to see Dacha Fofana make it 2-0 from the edge of the box in 50 minutes. And Liverpool just simply couldn't keep up. It was Valentin Barker on the left-hand side. He found Strajnar to find Ethan Laird. He made it 3-0. And the pretty interesting thing is here, yes, we've won the Europa League, which is pretty awesome. I've just noticed this. The Craig Bellamy Park in Wrexham, built in 2026. What world are we living in at the Craig Bellamy Park? Absolutely baffling. Have you ever seen that before on your saves? Let me know down below. This game against Liverpool, we were actually quite dominant. More shots, a better XG, less possession, but that's what we do. When you have Rossi Valdo up front, who scored 23 goals and got 7 assists this season, we don't need to keep much of the ball. But the best thing about this whole rebuild so far is this Premier League season. The drama we got into along the way was absolutely incredible, and the winning run was fantastic. But we were up against Tottenham Hotspur, who had gone toe-to-toe with us throughout the whole season. And of course, it came down to the last day of the season, where we actually faced up against Tottenham Hotspur. And as you can see from the highlights, Gabriel Sara found Regan Poole, finds Datro Fofana, who finds Fran Beltran to make it 1-0 in the 78th minute. And that was the only goal of the game. We actually managed to beat Spurs, which means as we head to the Premier League table, we won the whole thing. 40 goal difference, 86 points, 25 wins, 11 draws, just 2 losses all season. A whole host of draws, way too many in my opinion, but 25 wins. A fantastic Premier League season means the challenge of the rebuild of making Pompey Premier League winners is done here in Season 7. I think it's the same amount of time as with Wrexham. Let me know in the comments down below. I think that's correct, if I'm honest. Which is actually a season worse, technically, because with Wrexham, we started in League One. Here we started in the Championship. So we actually rebuilt Wrexham better, technically. The main thing for me here, this rebuild, obviously we've done fantastic. We've won the league, etc., etc. I have never seen Will Lancashire turn this good. He is the Spurs striker. This season scored 26 goals in 30 games and dropped a 7.38. If you guys are doing like a lower league save or something, try and pick this guy up when he's cheap, because he's now worth 225 million and is absolutely incredible. I've never seen that in my life. He is simply ridiculous. And we didn't have anyone on the top goal scorers chart. I don't know if we've got anything in the team overview. We were third on most goals scored. We conceded the least amount of goals of just 30 all season, which is fantastic. And our standout performers this season, of course, Rosivaldo, Gabriel Sara dropped 18 goals and 19 assists and was our best player on a 7.23 as well. It's simply fantastic. A free agent signing from Norwich, an absolute, steal. We've done bits there. Go look at what your saves. Ricardo, 15 and 4. Dachafana, 15 and 7. Al Aswad, 12 and 7 again. Look for him in the Syrian League. A signing here, we signed with Middlesbrough, but from the Syrian League, a great signing who was brilliant. Kadi Azaj, the 200k signing, 10 goals and 4 assists. Joe Scally, 8 and 12. Barco, 7 and 11. Mark Stranyard, the £1 million left back, 50 games, 11 assists. Fantastic. Michel Polito, 7.10, 4 and 3. Emil Sur, 4 and 7. Zaragoza, 3 and 3. Dragnier, for 2 and 1. We've got a whole host of wonder kids here that you guys will love over on Patreon, so make sure you are looking at that down in the link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video as we return Portsmouth back to Premier League winners. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll speak to you next time.